In the headlines, new electric buses to hit the streets of Barbados next month. A UWI professor predicts a strain on the island's foreign exchange as the tariff war heats up. Barbadians to access services at the new social empowerment agency soon. And in sports, the Windies earn a vital victory at the Women's World Cup Qualifier.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tisha Hines with the details to the news. The Barbados Transport Board has added 30 new buses to its electric fleet in an effort to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. This after the Barbados government received a donation from the People's Republic of China. The new buses bring to 89 the number of public service electric buses on the island. This is the largest fleet in the Western Hemisphere. The handover of buses took place during a ceremony at the Barbados Port Inc. this morning. Rachel Agard attended and files this report.
The journey to Barbados becoming fully electric is well underway. Following a visit by Prime Minister Mia Motley to China in January 2024, a commitment was made to provide a donation of electric buses to Barbados after discussions with Chinese Premier Li Qiang. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport and Works Santia Bradshaw says these buses will now allow Barbados to accelerate to a fully electric fleet, allowing the Barbados Transport Board to improve the delivery of public transportation on island. The buses will alleviate transportation issues in rural Barbados like Connell Town, Josie Hill and the Pike Corner in St. Lucie, Bosco Bell St. Peter, St. Albans, St. James, Shorey Village and Chalky Mount in St. Andrew, and Bathsheba and Sugar Hill both in St. Joseph.
These 30 buses will add to the existing 59 electric buses on island, which this administration has certainly worked tirelessly since 2018 to ensure that we were able to acquire. It will therefore bring the total electric bus fleet on the island to 89 buses. It will also make Barbados the largest electric fleet provider in this part of the hemisphere. In addition to the 30 buses, provided also by the People's Republic of China, are spare parts to facilitate much needed repairs and maintenance.
Ms. Bradshaw says Chinese officials have also agreed to provide additional technical resources through manufacturers BYD for the service and upkeep of the buses. 3 technicians will be provided with another technician to assist specifically with the charging infrastructure installation which is needed for the new buses. The buses left the Barbados Port Inc. today for weighing, inspection and registration.
They have to obviously have a number of the functions installed on them, such as the Wi-Fi. They have to have the cashless system installed and prepositioned. They have to have the fare boxes placed in the vehicles. The cameras that we have been installing on the other vehicles need to also be put in place. And of course, we have to program what is referred to as the destination signs.
Ms. Bradshaw adds the intention is to take the diesel buses out of the existing fleet over a period of time. She says this will allow for a reduction in maintenance and fuel, and by the end of this financial year, another 35 electric buses are expected to be added to the existing fleet. Commercial Counselor of the Embassy of the People's Republic of China, Liang Ji, says this occasion marks another landmark achievement between the two countries.
I think it is a practical action of deep collaboration and cooperation on climate change and sustainable development. I am confident this new fleet of electric buses will make a meaningful contribution to Barbados towards carbon neutrality.
The buses are expected to be in operation by May 1st. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thanks, Rachel. As the United States and China continue to exchange blows in a tariff war on goods traded between them, an economist predicts that increased prices on local imports could eat into Barbados' foreign exchange reserves and drive up the cost of providing services. Professor of Economics and Deputy Principal of the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill, Winston Moore, says if Barbados begins to experience significant price increases on imports because of steep U.S.-imposed tariffs on goods from countries like China, this would result in a faster drawdown on the island's foreign reserves on any type of imports from the U.S. In a sit-down with CBC News, he pointed to Barbados' trade deficit with the U.S., importing around $700 million worth of goods for 2023 to 2024, while exporting approximately $50 million worth.
If it's spending over $700 million US to import goods into Barbados, any change in the tariff for a portion of those goods is going to mean that that $700 million might go up to $800, might go up to $900 million unless we reduce our consumption. So it might either mean spending more foreign exchange or it might mean reducing our consumption as well.
Barbados, like most countries, is facing a 10% baseline tax on all imports into the U.S. But Professor Moore believes the country ought to be concerned about the impact of its imports on the provision of services, because as U.S. tariffs are applied to goods coming from abroad, the prices of goods would affect these service sectors here.
Financial services sector, for example, if they are considering building a new head office, a lot of the inputs into that new head office might be imported from outside of Barbados, and therefore the costs that they might now see or they might now incur given this trade war might be higher. So it has impacts on say, a financial services company. And tourism is also another great example. When I'm building my tourism establishment, a lot of the inputs into that tourism establishment are imported, like the furniture and the fittings and so on, imported from abroad. When I'm running the establishment, a lot of the supplies, say the food and other inputs into the tourism establishment are still imported as well.
As we shift our focus back here at home, 2 teenagers are tonight assisting police with investigations in connection with the March 25th murder of 13-year-old Shonatan Chase. The confirmation from Police Communications and Public Affairs Officer Acting Inspector Ryan Brathwaite. Chase, a former Lodge School student, was gunned down a stone's throw away from his Silver Hill Christchurch home while attending a netball match at the neighboring Hardcourt. Meanwhile, a third man has been charged in connection with the murder of Veer Hoyt. He is 29-year-old Rakeem Shakil Aline of number 7 Shepton Lane, the Pine St. Michael. Aline has been charged with the January 9th murder of Hoyt at Checker Hall Crossroads, St. Lucie. He was also charged with 6 counts of endangering life, 4 counts of serious bodily harm, 2 counts of using an illegal firearm, possession of 36 rounds of ammunition, and criminal damage. Acting Inspector Ryan Brathwaite gave an update following Aline's appearance in court.
These offences were committed on the 6th and 9th of January as well as 31st of March 2025, whilst in the area of South District St. George, The Pine and Nelson Street St. Michael, and Checker Hall St. Lucie. Aline appeared before Magistrate Bernadette John in the District A Magistrate Court number 2 on Thursday the 10th of April 2025. He was not required to plea and has been remanded to the Barbados Prison Service thus until May the 8th, 2025. The matters for District B have been transferred until the 17th of April 2025, and matters for Whole Town have been transferred until April 15th, 2025.
Well, coming up, President Sandra Mason pays the Scouts a visit. By the end of May, early June, Barbadians will be able to access services at the new Social Empowerment Agency. And staff for the new Social Empowerment Agency will soon be offered the positions that have been settled on. This was disclosed by Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey. He says the new agency will encompass an amalgamation of the Welfare Department, the Child Care Board, the National Assistance Board, and the National Disabilities Unit. These empowerment centers are set to be located all across Barbados.
We're waiting for the unions to finally sign off on the new terms of reference for the jobs and so on, and to go over and to approve the offers. I think that the unions so far have been happy with what we've done. And so we anticipate that by the middle of May, latest is the 1st of June, we'll be in a position to announce the new Social Empowerment Agency. Meanwhile, we're continuing the training. Our intention is that when people walk into this new entity on day one, that they can feel a difference in the way that they're treated. They can feel a difference in the services that we offer, the speed in which we respond, and so on.
And Minister Humphrey is hopeful by the end of June to pass into legislation the elderly bill, which is currently in draft.
We would have completed disabilities, children, the amalgamated entities, and elderly, which is the entirety, really, of the legislative framework that we needed to attend to. And by the end of June, that should be in Parliament as well. So we've done a lot of work to be able to bring us to this point. And as I said, the government of Japan is very good at using data. Very, very good at collecting, retrieving, and using data. And Barbados has to get to that point where we can collect, use, and retrieve data in the same way. And that is why we can continue to partner and hopefully continue the training that we have started since 2023.
The Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, took some time out of her presidential duties to visit the Barbados Boy Scouts Association's campsite at Blackman and Gollop Primary School, Staple Grove, Christchurch. The Scout leaders and the 412 boys were elated to have Dame Sandra observe some of their newly acquired skills. Rachel Agard has that story.
Members of the Barbados Boy Scouts Association had a grand surprise when the Most Honourable Dame Sandra Mason, President of Barbados, visited their campsite at the Blackman and Gollop Primary School today. The boys showed Dame Sandra their cooking and baking skills as she interacted with a number of them, inspected some of the ranks, and received a gift from a young scout. Camp Chief for the Barbados Boy Scouts Association, Hadley Roach, says Dame Sandra was very impressed by what she observed.
She was able to interact with the scouts, the cubs, the beavers, the ventures, and the leaders of the Barbados Boy Scouts Association. We have scouts here from First Barbados Sea Scouts, St. Gabriel's, James Street Scout Group, St. Stephen's, Hazelwood Scout Group. We have Cub Scouts from the Northern District, the Bridgetown District as well, and of course the Southern District where the camp is hosted.
Mr. Roach says participants of the week-long camp have been able to improve on their scouting skills and building friendships. And they have already started introducing new areas of training.
And we will continue building. The team of the camp is Boy Scouts, charting new paths. So all things that we'll be doing will be new to many of the scouts. We'll be having things like drone activities, archery. We had some exploration and sea activities yesterday, where the smaller boys got to learn this area, and the older boys went out on the water in kayaks and boats.
The camp ends next Tuesday. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Moved by a desire to create the most nutrient-dense food, a young entrepreneur is empowering both new and experienced farmers with the knowledge and skills to adopt regenerative organic farming methods. The assistance, through informative sessions, aligns with its plans to convert 1,000 acres of land into regenerative organic farms through its journey to 1,000 acres regenerative agricultural projects. Founder and Chief Executive Officer of Red Diamond Compost Barbados Incorporated, Joshua Fort, says the project is aimed at tackling food insecurity, boosting agriculture, and restoring soil health. He was a guest on CBC TV8's Morning Barbados.
There is this kind of gap that exists, this knowledge gap when it comes to how to produce food in a way that is beyond sustainable, in a way that is improving the fertility of the soil for the next 10 to 15, 20 years, and is going to improve the nutritional quality of the food that's being grown, and how that relates to climate change, and how that relates to the intense weather events that we are challenged with year after year. So this is where we saw the opportunity to be able to bring the information, the knowledge to the forefront to persons who are interested.
The Caribbean Tourism Organization has challenged Barbados and the region to open pathways for young people to take leadership roles in the vital tourism industry. Secretary General and Chief Executive Officer Donna Regis Prosper says tourism is not just about service jobs, but creates careers in every sector. Her remarks came as she addressed the 9th Growth and Resilience Dialogue hosted by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank in St. Kitts and Nevis.
From the blue economy of our oceans and beaches to the green economies of our environmental sustainability to the orange and purple economy that celebrates creativity and culture, and the emerging silver economy. From finance to technology, marketing and culture, tourism is everywhere. It creates jobs at every level in society, and every citizen can contribute to this growth. But the question is, are we equipping our youth with the tools they need to seize opportunities that are unfolding before them?
Sports Night is brought to you by Power In, Pause is Power, and by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Time to get some sports in with Anne-Marie Burke. Good to see you.
Hi, nice to see you too, Tisha. Barbados Baby Gems continued their perfect run at the Jean Pierre Caribbean Youth Netball Tournament last night, defeating St. Lucia 33-21 after leading 10-5 at the end of the first quarter, 16-11 at the half, and 24-17 after 3. Playing at the Wildy Gym for the Baby Gems, goal shooter Mikel Aline made 23 from 27 attempts, while goal attack Taisha Trotman had 10 from 13. St. Lucia's goal attack Niger Ferdinand scored 15 of 21. Tonight, Barbados will take on arch rivals Trinidad and Tobago in the 8 o'clock fixture at the Gym.
Attitudes towards cryptocurrency are changing. This is the view of co-founder of Tabit Insurance, SEC, William Bill Shahira, and Stephen Stromberg. They tell the Business Report there's a high-tech approach to the crypto and captive insurance industry aimed at enhancing security and transparency for executives and stakeholders alike in the digital asset sector. Trevor Thorpe sat down for an armchair chat with the officials.
The attitude towards cryptocurrency is changing, and co-founder William Bill Shahara says the company received the Class 2 insurance license from the Financial Services Commission. He says the company plans to incorporate cutting-edge technology into its operation while complying with regulatory standards, potentially making it a pioneer in blending digital innovation with insurance in Barbados.
The longer cryptocurrency has been around, I think more people are understanding and getting educated by it and becoming less scared of it. And of course, Barbados is great because they're contributing to a lot of that innovation that's happening in the blockchain space.
The co-founder expressed enthusiasm about operating within Barbados' regulatory framework, saying Barbados is an ideal home for the company.
We got our license in January, and after getting our license, we've since raised about $40 million in Bitcoin to apply to the insurance industry. So we've seen a tremendous amount of demand for this product, and we're really excited for what we're going to be able to contribute to Barbados.
Chief Executive Officer Stephen Stromberg says the company is now a member of the Barbados International Business Association, BIBA. He says the company took its place at the recently held Barbados Risk and Insurance Management Conference at the Wyndham Grand Barbados Sam Lawrence Castle Resort.
Since we were here last time for the FinTech conference, which we were very happy to sponsor, which was very focused around FinTech, we have been setting up and doing all the sort of things in Barbados as a new insurer, and this is really supporting this conference, which is an insurance conference, being part of the insurance community. We're serving two audiences, the crypto audience, and then obviously the more traditional insurance audience, and we're bringing the two together. So this is really just the other side of our business, and we just joined BIBA, so we're very happy to be part of the Barbados business community.
Tappet Insurance SEC's background and presence in the industry is being seen as helping to move the industry to the next level. Trevor Thorpe for the Business Report.
The World Bank has approved a $30 million loan for Barbados to help the island strengthen its disaster resilience. The loan, which includes a catastrophe-deferred drawdown option, is designed to provide the country with rapid access to financial resources in the event of an emergency. According to the World Bank, this will enable Barbados to respond swiftly and effectively, ensuring a faster recovery for its people. It says the financing will play a critical role in bolstering Barbados's disaster management systems, which remain essential as the country faces growing risks from both natural and public health-related crises. The $13 million loan also complements the Barbados Beryl Emergency Response and Recovery Project, which focuses on rebuilding critical infrastructure and supporting sectors such as the fisheries and tourism industries that were severely affected by Hurricane Beryl.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inc. Pause is powered. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
It's time for the second half of sports with Anne-Marie.
And I have this news. The National Sports Council is set to be dissolved and transformed into a new entity with a different name. While dates are yet to be finalized, it's understood that staff will be made redundant and will have the option of reapplying for positions. A meeting was held with staff this morning just after 9 on the ground floor of the National Sports Council's gymnasium headquarters. Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment Charles Griffith, National Sports Council Chairman Matt Fingal, along with union representatives, were also present. The Barbados team for the 52nd edition of the Crifty Games now stands at 53. The Athletic Association of Barbados has added one more competitor to its record number of participants, as Kamal Armstrong will join the squad in the under-17 boys division. Armstrong will be participating in the shot put and discus events over the Easter weekend at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Trinidad and Tobago. Head coach Brian Holder says Armstrong has been added as a developmental athlete after registering distances just off the qualifying standards. Now, graced by the presence of the President of Barbados, Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, last season's outstanding individuals and teams were rewarded for their performances during the BCA's annual awards ceremony. CBC's Melissa Farley reports.
Even though it was President Condé Riley's choice, it was evident and clear that Barbados and West Indies female captain Hayley Matthews deserved the BCA President's Award for her consistent performances over the past year. Honored with a place in the ICC ODI team for 2024 was a testament to Matthews' extraordinary performances last year. Her consistent brilliance with both bat and ball has solidified her reputation as one of the finest cricketers in the world. Currently in Pakistan preparing to lead the West Indies women in the ICC Women's World Cup qualifier, Matthews' father, Michael Matthews, received the prestigious award on her behalf. It was a night of celebrations for outstanding local cricketers, highlighting and acknowledging the achievements of Barbadian female and male players in regional and domestic competitions last season. The Barbados Pride Player of the Year award went to Jumel Warrican. The outstanding female and male cricketers were Kaisia Knight and Giovante de Pisa. The emerging youth female and male cricketers were Decoria Collymore and Jatario Prescott, while the most improved female and male cricketers were Alicia Bowman and Nimar Boding. In the team's awards, Wanderers took the Elite Division in 2024, as well as the Intermediate title, while Windward won the First Division and earned promotion as one of this year's elite teams. The Second Division title went to Carlton Cricket Club, while the St. Michael's School claimed the school's division title. The BCA Rising Star Award went to Joshua Bishop. With national youth teams winning a number of regional competitions last season, President Riley believes the future of cricket in Barbados is still in great hands.
Our heartiest congratulations to the double-crowned under 15th, or double-crowned under 19th, and the under 17th, who despite winning only one of the crowns in their competition, were well on the way to being double-crowned champions as well, until rain brought a halt to their quest for victory on the last day of the tournament. By singling out the exploits of these young players, we herald the advent of a new generation of Barbados and West Indies players.
The BCA also paid special attention to a number of backroom staff who aided in the development of local cricket. Special awards also went to physiotherapist Dr. Jacqueline King, Chief Executive Officer at the BCA, Dr. Roland Topping, and a number of employees with the BCA for over 10 and 20 years, with Jamar Holder Calendar being named Employee of the Year. In his address, this year's feature speaker, Dr. Rudolph Aline, head of Academy at Sport at the University of West Indies, says the inclusion of sports science along with modern management practices and strategies have become very important to the development of cricket and all other disciplines across the world.
If we're talking about the delivery of sports at the highest level and to the highest standard, we need to understand the importance that sports sciences play in that development. No proper preparation of any team can be done without your sports nutritionists, your sports psychologists, your massage therapists, your physios, your well-trained and informed coaches, your statistician, and all of the professionals who help to make that game the best that it can be, or that sport. If we are not doing this within the sport, we are way behind what's happening in the world of sport and the world of cricket.
Congratulations to all awardees. Melissa Farley, CBC Sports.
And that's news. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.